Up until recently, making a movie always looked something like this. Note the giant camera rigs. Now, don't get me wrong, movie productions are still using expensive cameras. There are the famous RED cameras, IMAX cameras, Ultra Panavision 70s, and many, many more. All of these cameras are extremely expensive. But take a look at this.
Some people think we had a pimped out or a tricked out iPhone. That's not the case. We had an adapter that was literally the size of a matchbook that fit over the lens with a little stabilizer, and that was it. I was able to move very easily around and get different angles.
This is a behind-the-scenes look at a movie called Tangerine. It's a feature film that premiered in theaters, and it was all shot on an iPhone. Here's a clip from the trailer.
Hey, Alexandra, come here. Listen, have you seen Cindy?
Cinderella. Looks like someone has a crush.
Cindy's back on the block?
Oh yeah, she's back. She's back and she's going hard.
You can see how good this movie looks. At first glance, you'd never guess it was shot on an iPhone. This isn't the only movie or TV show that was shot with a smartphone either. Unsane, Searching for Sugar Man, I Play with the Phrase Each Other are only some of the movies that have been shot with an iPhone over the past few years. And I'm fairly certain we can expect many, many more to come out in the near future. But this video isn't about how good the iPhone is. It's a video about how the creation of the iPhone led to such advancements in camera tech that you can now record a feature film with something you keep in your pocket. So let's rewind a bit. When Steve Jobs announced the first iPhone back in 2007, it was revolutionary. But people often forget how bare the first iPhone really was. There was no app store, there was no GPS, it couldn't even record video. As a matter of fact, iPhone couldn't record videos until 2009 when the 3GS was released. This also happened to be my first phone. But even then, no one would think of recording a feature film with a phone that shot videos like this. This was a video I shot when I had the iPhone 3GS. As a kid in high school, goofing around after school often included recording videos of our little adventures. To me, it didn't matter how bad the videos looked. It was amazing that I can just pull my phone out of my pocket and start recording. Around the time of the iPhone's release, the internet was also changing drastically. There were now content sharing platforms such as Facebook and YouTube. Facebook created this need for everyone to share what they were doing with their friends. And these newly dubbed smartphones with cameras made this ridiculously easy. You can now take pictures and videos on the same device that you use to share them. YouTube also changed how content was being perceived and created. You no longer had to rely on a satellite or cable subscription to get hours of enjoyable content. It was now free and available at any time. YouTube made it easy for anyone who wanted to create videos to share them with the world. It was incredibly simple to upload your creation and have the entire internet as your potential audience. All you needed was an idea and some confidence to upload. YouTube videos in the early days weren't about quality, they were about content. But to be recognized as a serious form of media, the quality had to catch up. Because of this, good cameras became cheaper and cheap cameras became good. Every year, the iPhone would announce the latest improvements to their cameras, whether it be higher resolution, a bigger sensor, better low light performance, or better focus. The improvements kept on coming. And it wasn't just the iPhones, it was all phones. One of the major selling points for a good smartphone these days is the quality of its cameras. There are lots of phones with amazing cameras. Samsung Galaxy flagships always had punchy colors. Google Pixel blew everyone's mind with how software can be as important, maybe even more important than hardware. And then there's the phone we're talking about today. The iPhone has always been at the top of the pack. And even though there are a ton of videos about which phone has the best camera, we're not going to get into that today, a common theme is that the iPhone was always and still is the leader in video. And with Apple's most recent phone, the iPhone 12 Pro, they now support the Dolby Vision HDR format. The first, and from what I know, only phone to support this format. If you want to read more about what Dolby Vision HDR is and why it's important, I'll include a link in the description. Dolby Vision HDR has been rapidly taking over the HDR space for 4K TVs. And although it's not the only HDR format, a lot of the major TV manufacturers have created TVs compatible with Dolby Vision HDR. But Up until now, you needed a dedicated camera to be able to shoot video in Dolby Vision HDR format. This proves that Apple is well aware of how powerful their iPhone cameras are. But more importantly, it shows us that Apple also realizes there are many creators out there that are willing to and even want to use the iPhone to create great content. So they're giving them the tools to do that. Okay, all of this is great, but let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's talk about how the iPhone changed the film industry. I already mentioned how good cameras are getting cheaper and cheap cameras are getting good. This is a common theme in technology. When there's enough demand for improvements and enough competition, advancements tend to accelerate. And when you look at the smartphone industry, I don't think I can point out another industry, maybe other than the automotive industry, where there is so much demand and competition. Apple didn't just change the film industry by creating a phone that could create feature films. The demand and advancements caused such an acceleration in camera technology that it opened the door for wannabe creators, even myself, to buy good cameras for cheaper. This caused a snowball effect. So many people were buying iPhones and other smartphones that camera sensors were becoming cheaper to manufacture at these scales. They were also rapidly improving. New companies were coming out right and left that were finding creative new places to put these cameras. Take a look at drones, for example. They have become extremely powerful. Now you could take shots like the intro to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining without the need for an expensive helicopter and camera rig. Indie creators are also able to mount phones and small cameras to get angles they were never able to before. With more creators, video and photo editing companies are able to make their software more affordable and accessible to the average consumer. So these days, with just a phone, some editing software, and an idea, you can create some really great content. One movie that always pops into my mind when thinking about this is the Blair Witch Project. After doing a quick Google search and not checking any peer-reviewed articles, I found that the budget for this movie was approximately $60,000 USD. This movie could have easily been shot with an iPhone for probably a lot cheaper than what it was originally shot for. And the crazy thing is that it grossed $250 million worldwide. So, how did the iPhone change the film industry? You've heard it many times before. You don't need crazy equipment to make movies or videos. You just need a camera and an idea. Today, this cannot be more true of a statement. It's crazy to think that the camera you carry in your pocket could be used to make the next big hit. But it wasn't always like this. And for that, we can be grateful, at least in part, to Apple and the creation of the iPhone. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video about how the iPhone changed the film industry. I really enjoyed making it. I'll be making videos similar to this one in the future. I guess you could call it a video essay. So this video is actually being recorded right now on an iPhone 11 Pro Max. Mouthful. I love the creation process of making videos. I find it very fun, from the writing of the script to the recording of the video down to the editing and then publishing it. It's all really fun to me. So expect videos regularly on whatever day I write in the banner. I haven't decided as of yet, but I'm thinking Wednesdays or Thursdays, but take a look in the banner. That's when I'll be releasing the videos regularly. I have a ton of video ideas. Some of them are about tech, some are about film, some are about tech and film, some are just random. So stay tuned and hopefully you enjoy. Also, I just wanted to say I'm not an Apple fanboy. I've actually been using Android phones for the past 10 years since I had my iPhone 3GS. I just recently switched, not recently, but a few months ago, I switched to the iPhone 11 Pro, mostly because of this thing right here. I really wanted to get an Apple Watch. But I'll actually be talking about the Apple Watch in a future video, kind of related to fitness and what I think about the Apple Watch with regards to being a fitness tracker and how it actually motivated me. So yeah, I don't want any Android fanboys coming at me and tearing me apart. I'm a fan of both. Right now I'm using an iPhone. Maybe I'll start using an Android again in the future. Who knows? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, see ya.